Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. We begin with breaking news out of Fort Smith, where a standoff is underway at the Seasons Inn Hotel on Waldron Road. I want to take you to a live look right now from that area. Members of the SWAT team on scene trying to negotiate with the people in one of those rooms. You can see Fort Smith police vehicles right there. Our cameraman just had to move farther away from the scene because of what's playing out. According to Sergeant Daniel Grubbs with Fort Smith Police, this all started when a couple tried to use counterfeit money at the Burger King on Rogers Avenue. The clerks called it in and the couple was followed to the hotel you see here. Officers tried to make contact with the couple but had no success. A few minutes later, a female claiming to be in the hotel room texted an officer in another city saying she was being held against her will. We do not yet know the names of the suspects, but Grubbs says both people have active felony warrants. Stay with 5 News for more on this developing story. New information about a River Valley rape case we first told you about yesterday. 71-year-old Jordan Bird now behind bars on suspicion of felony permitting of child abuse and a misdemeanor for failing to report child abuse. Investigators say he was aware of the fact that a 14-year-old boy sodomized a 9-year-old boy back in March, but he did nothing about it. The sexual assault reportedly happened while the two were riding in an area agency on aging transportation van from the alternative schools in Fort Smith. Bird was driving. The incident was captured on surveillance video. The victim's family has filed a lawsuit against the Area Agency on Aging and Valley Behavioral Health System. The lawsuit claims the 14-year-old suspect was mentally ill at the time of the crimes. New at noon, the hot weather in Oklahoma claims the life of a local woman. A 29-year-old Rogers woman died of a heat stroke while attending a Mormon church camp this week. As Tess Monty from our sister station in Tulsa reports, emergency responders also treated several children at the camp.
Paramedics say they took 5 juveniles to the hospital last week for heat-related illnesses. They say 3 of those were unconscious when medics got to the camp.
Say hi to the rest of the steak.
Hi, the rest of the steak.
The Pioneer Trek is a tradition.
Hi.
To teach youth with the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints about the Mormon pioneer exodus. They dress in pioneer-era clothing, sing and dance, then hike for miles pulling hand carts, just like their ancestors. And this month, some members are doing all that in the sweltering Oklahoma sun.
If you're going to be outside, you're going to be affected by the heat.
The Rogers, Arkansas LDS Church says one of its members died of a heat stroke Monday. Megan Blair was near the end of a 7-mile trek through a Pawhuska prairie when she passed out and started seizing. She was just 29 years old with a husband and 2 young children. Pawhuska EMS Director Don McCorkle says it's a sad reminder the heat doesn't just affect the elderly.
Just stay aware of the heat and, aware of your body and how you're feeling.
McCorkle says staying hydrated and replacing electrolytes is vital when out in the hot summer sun, and he warns the heat can hurt you anywhere, whether out on the prairie or in the heart of the city.
It's all over. It's not just there. I mean, it's hot in Oklahoma everywhere right now, so just be aware of it.
The spokeswoman we talked with says as far as she knows, the camps have not been canceled. The LDS website says the Osage Prairie Treks are held in March, June, and October, but says because of weather, they can't be held in July or August.
That was Tess Monty reporting for us. An LDS church spokesperson says Monday's trek started early in the morning in an effort to beat the heat. It included shade and swimming stops, but apparently it wasn't enough. And we do have heat advisories across our area for this afternoon into this evening. Let's check in with 5 News meteorologist Sean Bailey to find out if there's any relief in sight. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Jay. Yeah, we are going to be expecting a little bit of relief heading our way, especially for northwest Arkansas later on this evening. But this afternoon, expect no relief from the heat or the humidity, which are really going to combine to make those heat index values feel above 100 degrees. Already those air temperatures getting very close to that 90-degree mark in northwest Arkansas. Already in the 90-degree club, though, in Fort Smith, Sallisaw, and Poto, and those temperatures just going to continue to rise throughout the rest of the afternoon, too. We're expecting temperatures to be mostly in the mid to upper 90s, just shy of that 100-degree mark in the River Valley, and we'll settle for mid to low 90s across northwest Arkansas. Again, though, we're expecting it to feel much warmer than that going forward. We'll talk more about this hot weather trend coming up in just a bit.
Sean, thank you. Sequoia County search and rescue crews are out in full force right now looking for a missing hiker. The man was last seen on Tuesday afternoon near Lake Tenkiller. 5 News reporter Joe Ellison was part of the search party this morning. She joins us live with an update. Joe.
Well, Jay, you know, this is just south of the Snake Creek entrance at Lake Tenkiller at Cato Creek. Now, take a look at the emergency crews here. You have mounted patrol, those on horseback, cadaver dogs searching this area. Now, Sequoyah County deputies say it was Tuesday before 3 o'clock that Matthew Fagan came here with several friends. They told deputies they went up into those woods that you can see there to search some caves in the area. Now, friends say that Matthew Fagan said his ankle was hurting, so he came back to the vehicle. But friends say whenever they arrived here, there was absolutely no sign of him. Now, Jay, it's extremely hot out here. It has been for the past 2 days, so these emergency crews are here hoping to find any sign of him, of course, to make sure that he is okay. And we're learning more details, and we will bring you those just as soon as we have them. Reporting live at Lake Tenkiller, covering news where you live, Joe Ellison, 5 News.
Scary situation, Joe. Thank you. Fagan is from the Webbers Falls area. We'll have more on the disappearance coming up on your 5 News this evening, and of course we'll let you know if the search teams are able to locate him. Golfers from all over the country teeing off in the Pro-Am part of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship today. The first round started around 7 this morning at Pinnacle Country Club in Rogers. The second round actually just started a few minutes ago at noon. It's expected to last till about 2 this afternoon. Hundreds of people watching the pros and the amateurs take a swing.
And I play golf 3 days a week, and it's fun to come down and watch the girls play to see what real golf looks like.
Even more people are expected to be out as the championship itself kicks off tomorrow. We also want to let you know ticket prices are cheaper this year than they were last year. For ticket pricing information, visit our website, 5newsonline.com. The Rodeo of the Ozarks continues today at Parsons Stadium in Springdale. 72 years and still going strong. The theme for tonight, tough enough to wear pink. Organizers asking you to wear something pink in support of those who are fighting or have fought breast cancer. Some special pink-themed events even taking place with the Cowboys and Cowgirls this evening. Gates open at 6. The grand entry is at 7:30. Tickets start at $15 for adults, $7 for kids, and proceeds from tonight's festivities will benefit the local affiliate of the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. Little blues music for you on this Thursday afternoon. In the River Valley, the stage is being set for Fort Smith's Riverfront Blues Fest. It's happening this weekend. A lot of fun activities planned for the next few days. Dozens of performers all weekend long. There's also a big car show happening Saturday afternoon into the evening. Tickets start at just $10. Gates open at 5 tomorrow night, with the music starting at 6. In today's Health Watch report, a new study is drawing potentially controversial conclusions about parents. A global study from the nonprofit Council on Contemporary Families suggests parents in America are less happy than couples without kids. The group says the happiness gap between parents and non-parents is biggest right here in the U.S. In other countries like Norway and Hungary, it's the parents who are happiest. Researchers say it could be because of poor support for moms and dads in the U.S., which forces parents to choose between work and family. And bad news for those of you who don't like getting shots at the doctor's office. The Centers for Disease Control Committee is recommending that doctors not use the flu mist vaccine this upcoming flu season, but instead rely on the shot. They say the nasal mist vaccine performs poorly compared to the shot. The CDC as a whole still has to approve the recommendations. And listen to this, an 8-year-old boy diagnosed with a rare brain tumor was left with a big scar on his head following surgery. Made him self-conscious, as you might imagine. So to comfort him, his dad did something pretty amazing. John Marshall on the right there got a tattoo of a scar on his head so he could match his son.
As a parent, that hurts to have your child feel like, nobody likes him, he's a monster, everybody's staring at him, they're scared of him, and that's not the case.
I didn't like him calling himself a monster because to me, he's beautiful.
The tattoo artist did the work free of charge when he found out the meaning behind it. The Marshals say they hope this inspires people to donate to brain cancer research. Very cool. 12:12 on this Thursday afternoon. We've got more headlines to get to, but right now, let's talk about the weather. We certainly hope you're enjoying the air conditioning inside right now. Developing in world news, a gunman opens fire at a movie theater in Germany this morning. German police have confirmed that no one was injured by gunfire in the small city of Varnheim, about 40 miles from the capital, Frankfurt. Initial local media reports had as many as 50 injured, but all injuries appear to be from the tear gas used by responding officers. The gunman was shot and killed by police. Authorities now have that area closed off. Officials have yet to determine a reason for the shooting, but are looking at all possibilities, including political or religious motives. House Democrats continue an unprecedented protest, which they say is necessary to keep guns out of the hands of terrorists. The Democrats are calling for new gun control legislation in light of the Orlando shooting, and they say they'll keep up until they get a vote. But as Weijia Jiang reports from Capitol Hill, Republicans aren't likely to give up anytime soon.
Democrats have been protesting on the House floor for more than 24 hours, demanding a vote on new gun control legislation.
They don't have to vote for the bill, but they have to put the bill on the floor and own up to where they are and stare their constituents in the eye and say yay or nay.
They stood throughout the night giving speeches and holding up signs with the names of the Orlando gun shooting victims. After delaying votes for several hours, Republicans eventually worked through the protest.
Refer to the House calendar.
And pushed forward with votes on several unrelated issues before adjourning until July 5th. Even when Congress returns, Speaker Ryan says he's not giving in to these tactics for a bill he believes is flawed.
They know that we will not bring a bill that takes away a person's constitutionally guaranteed rights without their due process.
But Texas Congressman Louis Gohmert says Ryan should have put a stop to the sit-in. He confronted the Democrats on the House floor.
Radical Islam killed these poor people.
And Gohmert says claims that Republicans are working for the NRA are bogus.
I don't care how much money anybody gives me. I'm not in anybody's pocket.
The Democrats say they will keep this up until they get a vote. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And this just in, an update on the sit-in. CNN now reporting that Democrats have decided to end the protest. Republicans had tried to end it earlier. However, Democrats refused. More on this story on our website, 5newsonline.com. New at noon, the Supreme Court makes rulings on two big cases. First, the High Court upheld the affirmative action program at the University of Texas, saying the consideration of race as one factor for admission is constitutional. The 4-3 ruling greenlights the limited use of affirmative action policies by schools. Second, the Supreme Court announced it was deadlocked 4-4 in a case involving the president's controversial executive actions on immigration. This means the program will not move forward. It would have allowed some 4 million undocumented immigrants to stay in the U.S. for temporary work. The Arkansas Supreme Court says the state can move forward with the executions of 8 death row inmates using its 3-drug protocol. The court issued the ruling this morning. The inmates had argued the state's execution secrecy law could lead to cruel and unusual punishment. However, attorneys for Arkansas have now ruled that those drugs and the state's protocol are both acceptable. And in your campaign 2016 coverage, the war of words is intensifying between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. The Republican following through with his promised speech on Hillary Clinton. On Wednesday, the presumptive Republican nominee laid out his plans for the presidency, laid into Hillary Clinton, painting her as an insider who has rigged the political system for personal gain and special interests.
They totally own her, and that will never, ever change, including if she ever became president. God help us.
Trump also making an appeal to Democrats, hoping to win over those who voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary. Political insiders consider this a possible reset point for the Trump campaign as he refines his message for the general election. And Hillary Clinton wasting no time firing back at Trump, saying the Republican candidate doesn't have what it takes to be president. Clinton says Trump got personal with his newest attacks because she says he doesn't have answers to the issues.
Donald hates it when anyone points out how hollow his sales pitch really is. And I guess my speech yesterday must have gotten under his skin.
Meanwhile, Democrat Bernie Sanders has not conceded or dropped out of the race just yet, but he did say Wednesday that he does not expect to be the Democratic nominee. And that's what's making headlines on this Thursday. Sean has another check of the forecast right after this. We have an update on that breaking news situation we told you about at the top of the show. Happening in Fort Smith, a standoff has been underway at the Seasons Inn Hotel on Waldron Road. You see it in the picture there. At least 2 people have been arrested, 1 man, 1 woman, both of them with warrants out for their arrest. This all started with a counterfeit money exchange at the local Burger King in Fort Smith. Again, confirmation that 2 people have been arrested. A man and a woman. Much more on this throughout the evening and on the web, 5newsonline.com. The other big story today is the weather. Another very hot day across the area.
And summer has just begun.
Bring us some cold weather.
It just started on Monday, so we're just going to be in store for more of this.